if someone asks you what is, explain me what is a TOGAF, let's say in, 60 seconds, right, in a 1 minute. So what will be your explanation? Okay. Now the best way I could think of TOGAF or explain TOGAF is, trying to relate it with some analogy. So let's say if you have a Lego box, a toy box, okay, and which has got Lego pieces, okay, and the beautiful thing about Lego is that you could join different pieces and come up with different structure. So let's say as shown here, you are basically building up some semi structures here, okay, some semi structure, and so to create those semi structure you have some kind of a methodology, some kind of a process, right? You look at the manual of the Lego and try to build up, and definitely you try to build up some semi structure. Let's say if you try to build up a steering wheel, right? Steering wheel with help of a Lego structures, right? Steering wheel, let's just put this as a black, okay, and then which can be used across different, which can be reused. So you try to put it back in the box once you create that semi structure. So that's what this particular 2 diagram shows. You have a box, okay, you have a toy box with the Legos, and you try to create semi structure with some kind of a process, okay, and then you basically try to put it back, right, put those semi structured pieces back to the boxes so that it could be reused. And finally what you do is that with all this process you try to come up with the end product, okay. So you try to either come up with, let's say, a yellow car, probably a blue car, and if you see here, it has got some commonality, right? It has got, let's say, a wheel, right? A wheel, or it could have some steering wheel which is common. So you could probably to create a blue car, if you have already created a yellow car, you could basically pick up this the wheel from the box, from the toy box, right? And again you could use it to develop, right? You could use the wheel, okay, and then you could kind of reuse the wheel to develop the to develop the blue car, okay. So now you'll ask me, Kishore, how does this relate to TOGAF? Now what I want to kind of relate it, what this Lego box is nothing but in our TOGAF world, architecture repository, okay. It's kind of a collection or repository of all our artifacts, documents, best practices, solutions, architecture definitions. So all reusable assets, right? That is what this Lego box is, or architecture repository in TOGAF is. The methodology, the process is what the ADM, right? The heart of TOGAF, right? And that is the process, right? And as and when you basically go through the process, right, you basically generate certain artifacts to the to the repository. You consume certain artifacts, right, from the repository, and then the final is basically the output, the final architectural product, right? The some kind of a final solution, final product is what it is, right? So this is what kind of, if you want to give a high level definition of TOGAF, I mean, this is what it is, right? You have an architecture repository, okay, where you basically uses enterprise continuum to arrange it, right? Arrange it in a certain way. You have some kind of a methodology, right? This methodology is in a circle, right? It goes in a circle. So as you go through the circle, you could consume, you basically generate, you consume, you generate, and you finally come up with an output, right? And this output is what the differentiator, okay. So it could happen that there are 2 customers, okay, who are having some kind of a repository, who are having some kind of a ADM cycle, okay, and that could be tailored, right? We know ADM can be tailored. So let's say a company A may be using the 6 phases, and company B may be using all the 8 phases, right? Based on I mean, as we all know, the ADM can be tailored, right? So let's say company A coming up with 6 going through the 6 phases, coming up with some output, right? Let's say both are banking, both are let's say a bank, and both are undergoing a transformation. Both are going through both have are implementing the TOGAF architecture framework. A is going up and coming up with a solution, okay, solution A, whereas B again going through all this methodology, is coming with solution B. And as part of going through this methodology, both have created their own repository, right? There will be a repository for A, there will be a repository for B, something like our Lego box. But A has come up with a yellow car, okay? And going back again to the Lego example, B has come up with a blue car. Okay, so that's the differentiator. Okay, so and that's kind of what differentiates one organization from other. Okay, both have been going to the TOGAF, but then if you see, there are certain differentiator which basically makes them more successful, make unique in their own industry domain. Okay, and that's what it does, right? The kind of phases that they go through, the kind of repository, the kind of architecture repository that they built up over the period of time, the kind of they arrange it based on enterprise continuum, and finally how they come up with the final differentiator. Okay, so if somebody asks you like a 30 seconds definition of TOGAF, so TOGAF is nothing but an architecture framework, okay, where you have a repository, okay, where you have some kind of a methodology, okay, and that's basically ADM in TOGAF, and basically you're trying to come up with a final differentiator for your own organization, okay, and that is what TOGAF is all about. Okay, so I hope you understood and kind of have a probably I could say 5,000 10,000 feet overview of TOGAF. And if somebody asks TOGAF, probably I believe this is kind of one of the good answer. I think you can reply back. Okay, so just let me know your thoughts on this, and if you guys don't agree with me, or if you have a better suggestion or have a better definition, please write it down in the comment section. Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, and take care, be humble, stay strong.